Hello everyone and welcome to this module on the mechanical motor vehicle. In today's video, let us learn to remove and replace the front wheel drive shaft. By the end of this video, you will be able to identify the constant velocity joint, remove the constant velocity joint, remove the half shaft assembly, clean the constant velocity joint and inspect it, check the condition of the constant velocity joint, bearing and bushes. Lubricate the constant velocity joint using the recommended lubricant and refit the constant velocity or CV joint. Let us collect the tools, machinery and material required to do this. Trainees Toolkit 1. Hollow punch set of 7 pieces 6 mm to 15 mm 1 set. Spanners socket set of 28 pieces with box 1 set. Ball peen hammer 0.5 kgs 1. Outside micrometer 1. Torque wrench 1. Bearing puller 1. Crowbar 1. Diesel engine or diesel engine car with manual 1. CV joint as required. Half shaft as required. Cotton waste as required. Soap oil as required. Identify the CV joint. The CV joint connects the drive shaft and wheels. CV or joint removal. Complete boot and CV joint service requires removing the half shaft assembly from the car. Follow the procedures given in the vehicle service manual. Loosen the front wheel lug nuts and the hub nut. Raise the vehicle on a lift supporting the vehicle on suspension. Remove the lug nuts, wheels and hub nut. Removing the half shaft assembly. Remove the nut holding the lower ball joint to the steering knuckle. Separate the lower ball joint from the knuckle. Swing the knuckle assembly and pull out the CV joint from the wheel bearing and hub. Use a slide hammer puller and remove the inner CV joint from the transaxle. Support both ends of the half shaft assembly and remove it from under the vehicle. Place soft jaws on a vise and clamp the half shaft in the soft jaws. Clean the CV joint. Clean the CV joint thoroughly with kerosene and then dry. Inspect the outer CV joint, cut off the boot clamps and remove the boot. Rub the grease from the CV joint between the fingers. If the grease feels gritty, the joint is probably damaged. Wipe away the grease and remove the CV joint from the half shaft. Shafts are retained by a snap ring or circlip. Force up one side of the cage and inner race and remove each ball. Then pivot the cage and inner race so that the cage windows align with the lands of the outer race. Lift out the cage and the inner race. The outer CV joint completely disassembled. Check the condition of the CV joint, bearing and bushes. Inspect the cage for cracks and pitting. This allows excess ball movement and causes a clicking sound during turns. Check the inner and outer races for excess wear in the grooves caused by the balls moving front and back. Shiny areas in the grooves and cage windows are normal. Replace the CV joint only if a part is broken, cracked, severely pitted or damaged. CV joint fault diagnosis. An unusual noise in the drive line of a front-wheel drive vehicle usually indicates a damaged or worn CV joint. Other conditions in the transaxle bearings and tires also create noise. To determine the source of a noise, road test the vehicle. Follow the procedures in the vehicle service manual. A clicking noise while turning indicates a worn or damaged outer CV joint. A clunk when accelerating or deaccelerating indicates a worn or damaged inner CV joint. Shudder or vibration during acceleration is also probably caused by the defective inner joint. Other possible causes include a bad intermediate shaft bearing, outer joint, engine mount, or torque strut. Causes of vibration at highway speeds include out of balance tires, out of round tires or wheels, or an alignment problem. Vibration or growl may also be caused by a bad wheel bearing. To check the wheel bearing, raise the wheel with a jack. Place a safety stand under the lower control arm. Then, spin the wheel by hand while listening at the hub for the bearing noise. CV joint boot inspection. The CV joint boots deteriorate and may crack or tear during normal use. The boots and outer CV joints fail more frequently than the inner boots and joints. This is because the front wheels move through greater angles for steering. Some manufacturers recommend inspecting the boots every time the engine oil is changed. Clean the boots and then check for cracks, tears, and leakage of grease. The clamps should be in place and tight. If the boot is damaged or leaking, replace it. Continued driving will cause the CV joint to fail due to contamination or loss of lubricant. Servicing the half shaft and CV joints. The CV joints and half shaft assembly may be serviced in 3 ways. A boot kit includes a new boot and clamps to install if the CV joint is reusable. A defective CV joint is replaced with a CV joint kit. This includes a new joint, boot, and clamps. If there is damage to the half shaft or both CV joints, a complete half shaft assembly may be installed. Follow the procedures in the vehicle service manual and the kit instruction sheets to install the new parts. Both the boot kit and the CV joint kit include a supply of the special grease used in CV joints. Apply the recommended amount of grease to the joint. Add the remaining grease to the inside of the boot. Then tighten the boot clamps. Installation of the half shaft assembly is basically the reverse of removal. In this video, we have learned to identify the CV joint or the constant velocity joint, remove the CV joint, remove the half shaft assembly, clean the CV joint and inspect it, check the condition of the CV joint bearing and bushes, lubricate the CV joint using the recommended lubricant and refit the CV joint. Hope you have a clear understanding of this session. Thank you all and see you in the next video.